Good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your SPDR ETF wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday evening, and this is the 10th of May, 2021 at 7 p.m., and that is Central Time. Well, if you look behind me, a lot of red in the marketplace. Gold up a little bit. You had XLE and XLP. XLV was up a fraction. The pound, FXB, was up, and USO, oil. But most markets were down and down pretty good. Look at QQQ getting hit. When you take a look at QQQ, ARK has to come to your mind because this is the darling of whoever wants to follow Cathie Woods. And as you can see, this market has come off its highs rather smartly. I mean, big time. When I come over here, you can see how much more into the 150 area. Now you're down to 103.90. So it's lost a third of its value, and it's lost that comfortably since the February time frame. I know she has her followers. How many of you are willing to lose a third of your money following that strategy? That's up to you. Lower highs, lower lows, trend down. You're under the 18-day average. You tried to hold. You got down to the 200-day, as you can see right here. Market fought a battle, caved in on that battle on Thursday. Friday, you bounced. All you did is go back to the 200-day average, couldn't get beyond it, and a new low for the move right here. Sort of a capitulation move. You always have to be careful of those because sometimes they signal an end to something. What the market's really doing, though, is this is called that gorilla glue trade. It's when the market focuses on the lower Bollinger Band and can't get away from it. So it's like that strongest glue, and that's what it's doing. And that is just a sign of real bearishness. So until it ends, it isn't over. You're oversold. You have one day with today where both numbers were under 20 and the day before. Now, Tuesday's often a reversal day in stock indices, so we'll see. If you embed tomorrow, that locks in the downtrend, which is great, because if the red line after that on Wednesday, if let's assume another day where both are under 20, loses it, well, then I'm going to look for moves back to the 200-day average. If they both embed, then I'm looking for people to sell the 200-day average. In plain English, so far, the market's not giving us anything but potential more sells. I want you to look at GameStop and what happens in a market that's super volatile and loses all that volatility. It almost becomes untradeable. And you've got a market that's caught now between the two Bollinger Bands. I don't see a darn thing that I'd ever have one of my traders do in a market like that. If they were on the phone with me, Ira, what are you thinking? I just don't see it. PAVE, you know this has been my darling, but I'm also telling you I'm very fearful of the upper Bollinger Band. The market is embedded. It hit that number. If you follow my enhanced Bollinger Band course, this is one of those plays. You know what we're talking about. For those of you that haven't taken the course, won't tell you. Apple, higher high, lower low. Another down move in the market. So it too is giving back a chunk. You know, this was a 145 market. It's back to 125, but that's nothing like what ARK is giving back. And this is not against Cathie Woods in any manner, but every time you become famous with this, the market goes after you. I've done this 50 years. I've had on everybody, the Joe Granvilles over the years, the Marty Zweigs. I can go on and on. All the darlings and how the market eventually goes after them. The best showman was Granville. He was the guy that said he could walk on water. Couldn't walk on anything. I'm not sure he ever made money, but what a showman he was. So you look at these markets, you see what they're doing, and it's fun. In XSD, we have a higher high, lower low, but you stayed under this 18-day average. Here's another bearish thing. I want you to look at these two numbers. You got underneath. The 18 got under the 100. That's a bearish crossover. That is not a good thing, and that happened on Thursday. You got your bounce, and all of a sudden you come right back. You've got to learn to watch moving averages. They're important because so many other people watch them. The key isn't what Ira teaches in them, it's how I teach you what others are doing in them. And that's probably as good a thing to learn as anything else. Herd mentality is a great thing. Great thing. And the Chicago Bulls, when I haven't been to a Bulls game in probably 2 years now, but when you'd go into the arena, they'd have the Bulls running through the city streets. And, you know, it always reminded me, yeah, I want to be with that Bull because they're going to trash everything down. You want to be with those herds, okay? That is the key. POTX still caught very much in this sideways action. Folks, this is just winding up for a trade. I don't know which way it's going to go. ESGU is caught in this trade. Now, I see the trend is up. I've got it there. However, you went to the lower bands, now you went to the upper, you keep failing. This is that pipe I warn you about. I call it the psychiatry trade. I named one trade the Gorilla Glue. This is the psychiatry trade because as soon as you put on a long or a short, you want to have your psychiatrist's number because you're going to call them going, why didn't it follow through? Why didn't it break out? Why didn't it do this? Because you're caught in that narrow band. You don't want to be playing those. Here's another Gorilla Glue trade. Notice every day it hits that upper Bollinger Band. Why fight those things? That's a sign of strength, not weakness. And the market didn't stay over the bands, gets over, and along the way, it's embedded. So this is day one. Watch this. Right here, not embedded. Day one was Thursday, Friday. Now you got your embedded reading. So you're waiting for breaks to do what? In unison, buy. Because you're going to tell me it's overbought, and the pros are going to say, nah, it's getting stronger on the way up. When the red line closes under 80, they'll bail. It's not a hard signal to follow. EFA, overbought, stuck in the bands, still stuck in them. We'll see if that can hold up there. Again, it's a little wider, but it's still a psychiatry trade. In GLD, breaking out to the upside, but too overbought. Would I ever tell anyone to buy over a Bollinger Band? Slap me across the face if I do, because it isn't going to happen. I will tell you where you're at in it. If it gets more bullish news, you go to the 200-day, but it's likely to pull back and give you the market on the terms you want if it embeds. If not, it's overbought. Wonderful, it's working off its excesses. GDX, the same thing. Overbought, got through everything, poke through from Friday, even higher. Okay. Do you hear me talking bearish? Did you hear me talking bearish here? No. You've been over the 18-day average. It's not that I'm on the wrong side of the market. I'm not. Mentally, because of the technique. What it is, do I have a signal that I want to get in on? There is no way in the world that I want to be in any market unless I get what I want. And if I can't get what I want, there's another market that'll offer it. Why not play it that way? A chart's a chart. Don't get married to gold, silver, copper. That's nonsense. TLT, you went to the upper band, you went to the lower band, momentum down, not trending. Higher high, lower low. We're going to get a CPI number this Wednesday. That might break these markets finally out into trends. And last, I'll end here. The dollar index down, the euro up. I think the smart money's coming out of the euro right here. Right here, 113.95. Why would you push it beyond the Bollinger Band when you're not embedded? Be embedded, I'll have a different opinion. But you're not. That's the signal that I look at in the market where the pros are coming out. How do I know? Take a look at this right now. It's actually self-explaining if you take a look at what's this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, If you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.